adjust this. Okay, all right. Hi, you guys, and welcome to the live stream. Today, I'm doing things a little different. I know that Saturday is usually a sewing session, and for the past two live streams that I've worked on, I've been working on this piece. Let me see if I can pull it up to show you better to show it than to describe it, right? So this piece right here on the screen, I've been trying to build that. But for today, I figured we could do something different just because my time is a little bit limited and because I am not really that prepared to work on that piece. So getting into it, I figured for today, what we can do is I want this session to be about half an hour long so we could wrap up around like 9-ish. And I figured that we can, well, not we, but I. I'm so nervous. Okay, let me plow through. Okay, so seriously though, what I want to do in today's stream is I want to review some old videos, like some old tutorials of mine that I've posted, because that should be pretty interesting to see how far along I've grown as a seamstress. And second, I want to just kind of review some comments that you guys have left me. I know I'm not always the best at responding to you guys' comments in a timely manner, if at all. So I want to just kind of go through those and, verbally respond to them. So, yeah. And then third, in the meantime, while I'm doing those two things, if you guys have any questions for me, whether they are about sewing, whether they are about setting up a YouTube channel or social media platforms or fashion in general, feel free to ask me and I would be happy to answer. All right. Okay, let's get into it. And Alexis, I see you're here with me. And let me just add your comment here. Hey, thank you for joining me. It looks like you're the only one in the room right now, but I thank you so much for just making time for me on this Saturday. So appreciate you for that. All right, let's get into it. So I'm going to share my screen. I figured I would start with the videos first. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, so let's see. I'm going to go through some old videos. Let's see. Let me just scroll down. I'm just going to randomly choose something. I don't want to do anything that's too recent. I want it to be old enough for me to actually be like, oh wow. I feel like I could. Okay, so I just reversed it. Okay. So this is my videos from the beginning. This is the very first video that I had. And fun fact, when I first started YouTube, it was really for me to just sing and make skits and stuff and just kind of track my progress as a vocalist. And then it started transitioning into me doing covers and then also just kind of sharing, things that happened throughout my day. But really my channel really started off as a music thing. Music, and then it's some poetry. Let's see what's next. I don't know how to get to. I just want to make this a little smaller. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, here we go. How to navigate. Okay, so a lot of this, you can see I did performances. Some of this is my when I was in college and stuff like that. I'm just trying to get to like the very first. And then I started off like they were DIY tutorials. So my very first DIY tutorial was of like a jewelry organizer. So let's see. And then I did like a movie review. I did a lookbook. I did like makeup review, another lookbook. Let's see. Trying to find. Okay. It would be, hey, Kadian. Hi. Thanks for joining. And yes, Alexis, I do sing. But I'm like, I almost want to take down those videos because they were, I don't know. But yeah, if you want, you can check them out. Okay, so let's see. My first video was, okay, like my first tutorial was these shorts. Let's see, and this is a 10-minute video, so I might just like browse through it. Okay, so let's see. Let's go. I'm scared because I don't know. Okay, so I'm sure there's probably going to be a commercial, so I can just kind of prep you guys for that. But basically, hold on one second because I feel like my Wi-Fi is going slow. So I'm going to, sorry you guys, I'm just going to like plug in my Wi-Fi so that it can hopefully go a little faster. Sorry, I should have done this before, but I'm sorry. Okay. I'm coming. Today I'm going to show you how to make these leather panel shorts, which are available at nastygal.com and asos.com. To make these shorts, you'll need leggings, faux leather fabric, scissors, something to mark your fabric. Okay, let's turn down the volume. Okay, so, all right, fabric with a sewing machine, pins, and measuring tape. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to try on your leggings, and you want to try them on inside out, and you want to decide how long you want or how short you want your shorts to be. So I'm just going to do mine's like about right here. Okay. And it's always better to go longer than to go shorter. That's true. It is always better to go longer than shorter. I think if I were to change this, one thing I would say is that when you're marking that line, like you should really be starting the line from like under your butt, because chances are it might be higher in the front, but then because your butt takes up space, it might end up being lower. So instead of marking that line at the front, I would have marked it from like the back and then to the front, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. All right, let's see. Let's continue. Okay, so I just took my leggings off, and this is how we have it, okay? If you can see here on the side, we have the line. So what you want to do now is you want to take your leggings and basically hold in the middle, right? And do like this. But can we talk about this background music, though? Like, what? Why? That's another thing I would change. I think at that time, so this video was 2014. And I think at that time, that kind of music was like, everybody was using it. But I kind of wish I would have done something that like I actually was listening to at that time. You know, I know there's like copyright stuff, but even if it was just like the instrumental or something, like that music is just neat. Okay. As if you wanted to put creases, okay? The way that you change your pants to put creases in them, you want to do that. Basically now what you want to do is you want to just make sure that this line is straight. You want to measure from here to here, so we have 12 inches, and then we're just going to add like a ½ inch seam allowance. add a 1/2 inch seam allowance, which means it'll be like 12.5. So this is the line we want to follow. To here, 12.5. Okay, so I don't know if I'm going to get to it, but I don't know why. Like, I think before even adding the seam allowance, I should have trued that line. So the line that I'm the mark that I made while the pants were on my body, I should have trued it first. I think I was on the right path with like measuring it to see how, like, where the line was coming, like how far down the line was coming. But I think after that point, I should have, so like, let's say it got 12 inches, right? Then at 12 inches, I should have taken the ruler and drawn a straight line at 12 inches. That's what I would have done, because technically that line that I drew is not straight. But let's see, maybe I got to it after that. Let's see. Just here. Okay, that looks a little straight. So then now we have this here, and we just want to connect it. Oh, wait. You know what? It is kind of smart what I did, because cutting it there, I probably was just assuming that I'm going to fold it over by a 1/2 inch, so there's no need to draw the actual line itself. So, okay. Alexis says, the growth of your YouTube, LOL, the growth of your YouTube, could you do an update video to those shorts? I'd love to see the differences from now to then. Yeah, definitely. Just want to hold the pants together. You can pin it if you want, and then just cut. Wait. Why is my elbow and my arm all my arm is all up in the camera? Hello, angles, Shania, angles. Like, I'm literally like, wow. You can definitely see that, like, my production has definitely developed, because now I have my overhead camera, I have my frontal camera, and even if it's not overhead, I'm more conscious of, like, okay, where's the best place to place the camera so that the people can see what I'm doing without, like, my fingers or my hands and stuff getting in the way. Wow, that's funny. A rotary
And there we
been
have
super great for this.
our shorts. So I have tried my shorts on, and now I want to take my measuring tape, and I just want to take, like,
look how skinny I was. I was so skinny. I was so skinny. Okay, I'm over it. And ashy too, very ashy.
Okay. Middle of my knee, and then I just want to bring it up to, like, about here, and that's basically where the leather is gonna start. Okay, so mark it off. So that's the line for the leather. Okay.
Good job with the zoom. Good job.
Okay, so this is what your two lines should look like. So I'm basically just gonna take them off and draw these two lines again on the back. So now I have my shorts on backwards. You can see this is the line that
booty though.
Okay, but this is the front of the leggings. So I want to just go ahead and do the same thing on this side.
I think that was smart to do that, but I wonder if there could have been an easier way to do it without having to draw the lines twice, But I think this is the back way.
And this is the front.
Oh my gosh, I was so
you can see here that the lines are not exactly straight. They're a little bit curved. Basically what you can do is just go ahead and where the part is curved, so for example, like right here, you can just go ahead and take your measuring tape and make it straighter.
By the way, guys, so obviously, you guys know this was 2014, one of the very first, like, clothing DIYs that I did. What I just said just now about, like, so where the line is and how it's curved and how, I need to take the the measuring tape or the ruler and make it straight in the curved areas, that is called truing. So if you're ever watching any other tutorials and you hear someone say like, oh, now I'm going to true the pattern, that's what they mean. It's just kind of like making the lines more accurate, because sometimes when you're drawing a line on fabric, whether the fabric is on your body or whether the fabric is on like a dress form, it's not always going to come out as accurate. So once you draw the line on your body or your dress form, you should always true it for a more accurate fit. FYI. And there's no ads on this video. That's how you know I wasn't monetized.
This here was the original line, right? You see it's curved.
So
So I just went over it with my measuring tape and I made this second line, which is straighter. This is the front of my leggings, and this is the back of my leggings. Okay, you want to take your scissors and you want to cut along this line that you just did.
Here, I should have said, make sure you're cutting just one layer, because you could easily just cut through both.
Okay, so I just cut it. Okay, as you can see it's cut. So then you just want to flip these over and find the other line, right? So the other line would be like this one, and you want to cut along this line, okay? Okay, so this is what it should look like after you have cut out the shorts, okay? You have the original shorts and this piece, okay?
I sound like that because I was holding the...
And basically this piece is going to be our pattern piece, and we're going to trace this piece onto our leather fabric. Here we have our leather fabric. So this is the leather part, and this is just the other side. So this is the fabric that we cut out from our pants. We basically just want to trace it onto the leather. Okay, so this is what your measurements and everything should look like. And then I went all the way around and I have about a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So we want to cut along the seam allowance. So this is what it looks like once it is cut out. Okay, so now basically what we want to do is we just want to go and basically sew it like this. So we're just going to sew our seam allowance all the way.
In other words, you're going to hem the edges, like, or you're going to sew along the seam allowance line,
basically folding over on this white line, and you're sewing. And you just want to do this side and this side. We're going to leave the top as it is, and we're going to leave the bottom as it is. Okay, so this is the shorts from earlier.
But actually, thinking about it, I don't think I needed to hem the sides, because actually two things. I didn't need to hem the sides. If I was smart too, I should have considered seam allowance for the shorts. So when I made that line to match up my knee, I should have made another 1/2 inch seam allowance line, so that way I could easily just join the seam allowance of the leather patch and the seam allowance of the shorts without having to like compromise anything. So yeah, I would have done that.
And this is what we have hemmed, right?
There's no need.
So what you want to do now is you want to take this patch and you want to just fold it like this. And you want to have the correct side inside of the fold, right? Because remember, everything that we do is inside out. Okay, so do like that. And now what you want to do is you want to take this part, the top part of the shorts, and you want to connect.
You know, actually thinking about it, if I were to have hemmed anything, it should have been the top edge, the top and the bottom, not the sides, because the top and the bottom is not being connected to anything. So those I should have hemmed.
It with this part, okay? Take the top part of this. You want to line it up with this line, because remember, this is the seam allowance. So you want to line it up here.
What? What? Okay, yes, true. This is the seam allowance. So I should have... Oh, now I see what I was going to do. I was going to basically I probably was going to take the seam allowance and fold it over and then stitch it, which is actually smart too. But it's ironic that when I was giving you guys this step, it's ironic that I didn't realize, I didn't stop to think to say to myself, the seam allowance line for the side of the leather panel has disappeared. I've eliminated the seam allowance line for the leather panel because I hemmed it. So now I'm like, taking off more space because of this thing here. Lost for words, but okay, let's continue.
And then you want to put the edge of this fabric onto where the edge of the seam allowance is.
Wrong.
And you just want to pin it. And just
So wrong.
pin it down. When you sew, essentially, you're just taking this piece and you're just going to sew it on to the edge of this.
Okay? It's not wrong, but it's just not professional.
So basically, this is what it looks like. And then we just finished sewing this, okay? So remember, this is inside out. When you turn it over on the right side.
The only good thing about doing it that way and, hemming the leather fabric, the only good thing about it is that if I were to have connected the two side seams and folded it over, it would have probably left me with a bulky seam underneath, on the wrong side of the shorts. So that's one good thing about this. This allowed it to be more flat, but yeah.
It's gonna look like this, okay? So now basically what you want to do is you want to do a top stitch. I just finished doing the top stitch.
Look at me! Top stitch! Okay. Okay. I couldn't tell you guys about the seam allowance and how to properly connect the two pieces, but I knew about the top stitch. Brava! Brava!
See it, but here it is. And you want to close it. So connect this part with this part of the shorts. Okay, and basically you want to do what you did before, and you basically want to just sew the edge of this to the edge of the leather part and then all the way up. Okay, so let's do it.
And what's also crazy too, like here there's no overlays. Like if you guys follow my channel, you watch my videos, like I am overlay queen. And when I say overlay, I mean like, skirt is inside out, half inch down below, like all the text. In my videos, you will always see a hella lot of text, a hella amount of text just telling you what to do. Even though I'm saying it, I also write it on the screen. And here, there's none of that. Like, there's none of it.
They look
Talk about
like
progression.
After you've sewn them, right? You have this, and then you have this part. So again, now what you want to do is, so you want to turn them on the right side. So we're going to go ahead and do the top stitch all the way on the edge of the leather. So now we have our top stitch going along the edge. So the next thing we want to do is we want to just go to the top and the bottom. So this is the top, and then go to the bottom of the shorts.
That was smart.
Hem it.
That was kind of smart.
Finish, okay? So to do that, we're going to turn the shorts inside out again. Now you have the pants inside out, and you basically just want to take the top part of the shorts and you want to...
I feel like I was so fixated on like, zoom in, like get close so they can see what you're doing. But watching this video, and I think I'm going to keep it in mind moving forward, zooming in is not always the best thing, because sometimes you need to see the whole picture to understand, like, oh, okay, she's folding the top part over. I can see how she's doing it because it's nice and close, but I also need to see where this top part is in relation to the whole garment. So I'm definitely going to try to be more mindful of that, like just kind of zooming out. Not zooming in all the time, but zooming out sometimes, or maybe having like a split screen where you can see, on one side you see the whole garment, and on the other side you see the zoomed in area. Alexis says, hey, Rabia, sorry if I said your name wrong. Alexa says, I love the text writing on the screen. It helps so much when sewing. Following along to your videos are so easy. Thank you so much. And I'm happy that you say that, because sometimes I'm like, is it too much? Is it distracting to have to listen and read? So thank you for like confirming that it is helpful. And I will do my best to, keep doing that moving forward. Um, Rabia, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Rabia, sorry. But you say, I just came to say that I love your videos. They save my sewing projects every time. And I'm learning so much from your videos, but now I have to go back to class. Thank you so much. She's probably back in class right now. But if you do get to see this, thank you so much for the love and the support. And, feel free to message me if you ever have any questions or need any kind of guidance or advice on sewing. Thank you so much. And Alexis, thank you for being so like vocal and just, I don't know, so collective with everybody here in the chat. I really appreciate that. All right, let me go back. We're almost
Fold
done
it
with this
down
video. I'm just going to do this
to
video
where the white line is.
and some comments.
And then fold, so hold your fingers in place and fold again.
Oh, a
And
double
that's
fold.
gonna be how we're gonna hem it, okay? Take your pins and just
I don't even
keep it
hem
in
like that anymore.
place.
Nowadays, I'm so lazy that for me, hemming is literally I fold it over. Like I'll serge the edge and then I'll fold it over. Because I'm so, like, I've become a little bit of an impatient sewist. And impatient out of, like, excitement. Like, I just want to see the finished thing. So, but this, I will commend myself and say that this is the better way to hem a garment, is to do a double fold, because that way you're not seeing the raw edge at all, So good job. Brava.
Like so. And this is basically
I should have
how
had some
we're gonna
sewing
do
clips for this, because those pins going through the leather
the
fabric
hem.
will
But I've
definitely
hemmed the
holes.
bottom of the
Not very
shorts and
visible,
I
but
have
it's
also hemmed the top. So
not
basically now
bad.
you want to repeat the same steps. Everything you did on this side, you want to do on this side. Okay, so this is the final product. If you have any questions about anything, just leave a comment below and I will do my best to clarify. Check out my other videos and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already.
Wow. Wow. Let me just go back to the front cam. Wow. How interesting. I actually like how they came out. I think they look good. And to tell you the truth, the follow up with those shorts, I never ended up wearing the shorts outside. Ironically enough, because I was so self-conscious about my legs. I still am very self-conscious about my legs, but looking back at it, I'm like, why was I self-conscious? Like, I was great. So I never wore those shorts outside after I made them, but I did wear them, I think, once or twice to the club. And if you know anything about me, if you watch my videos, you know that I love like shorts. When it comes to going out to dance, shorts are my go-to, because I can be sexy, but also feel free to do some cartwheels and stuff like that if I want to. So yeah, I would say that that was not a bad tutorial. I just think that some of the techniques could have been more professional, and more like accurate, if you will. So I will definitely consider redoing it. Thanks, Alexis. Yeah, so I will definitely consider redoing it. And I think maybe I would redo it with, like, instead of doing leggings and leather fabric, I think I would do like jeans, but like stretchy jeans and leather fabric, just so that it has like a more, I don't know, a more like kind of look, like a solid kind of look, I guess is what I want to say. But okay, cool. So now I know I said I want to do just a half an hour and we're almost approaching 9. So I'm just going to take the time now to go through some comments that I haven't responded to. And yeah, so let me just go ahead and share my screen. Cool. All right, so let's see. Let's go to comments. All right, so let's see if I can zoom in. Let's see if I can zoom in. Oh no. I can zoom, but I just don't know how to. I feel like an old lady. Okay, I think this is fine. Oh, yes. So Alexa says she'll be looking forward to that video because she hasn't worked with denim. Yeah, denim is a little tricky, but it's definitely workable. And there's so many different dimensions to denim. You have like stretch denim, you have denim that's not stretch, you have denim that's a little lightweight, denim that's heavier. So, you get different experiences. But yeah, I will see what I can do. No promises, because I do have some things coming up for you guys, but I will see what I can do. Or maybe I could do a live stream of it, where like I'm not doing like an actual like tutorial, but it's more like I'm just doing it over on live. All right, let's go through these comments. Okay, so Marcy says, just move this over. Marcy says, great tutorial, but the music is ridiculous. Okay, listen, you guys. Like, I know that tutorial, like, I know for that video, 3 ways on how to hem stretchy fabric without it getting wavy and puckered. I know the music is too loud. I didn't realize that it was loud when I was exporting it. It was one of my videos in the earlier days of my, production, like experience. And I know, I get it. And the thing that I don't understand is that so many people leave that comment, oh, the music is too loud, oh, it's obnoxious. It's like, do you not see in the other comments that people have said the same thing? And I do read the comments. Even if I don't respond sometimes, I still read them. So I'm aware. I'm aware. Thank you, though. All right. I'm just gonna scroll through the ones that maybe if they have questions, I can get to. Okay. So Katie, she was just here. I think this is the same Katie. But Katie says, love this. Where did you get the pattern? And this was in reference to the DIY plaid skirt with 2 slits in the front. So I'm not sure what she means by where did I get the pattern, because the video is showing you how to make the pattern. So I'm not sure, maybe are you talking about how did I get the block, like that first block that I started out with? And if that is what you're asking, the link for that, you could either download one for free from my website. The link for that is in the video description box, or you can watch one of my videos on how to make that pattern block for yourself. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Let's see. Okay, sorry for the pause. All right, so then I have this comment here from Angela Marie Garcia, and this is a comment on the how to make a gingham crop top video. And she says, may I know what fabric is this? So Angela, if you watch the video, you see that I believe in the beginning of the video, I mention or I show that I was starting with a men's shirt. So I started with like just some like one of my friends' like husband's men's shirt, and then I just created the top from it. So it's not that I started with like a yard or a half a yard of fabric to make it. Um, but in general, I would say if you want to make this top, your safe bet would be to use like a non-stretch cotton fabric. And if you want to be more accurate too, you can just ask your fabric store for gingham fabric. And yeah, I think it's gingham. I feel like there's another name for it too. But gingham, yeah, gingham fabric, and you can make this top. Let's see what else is there. So Cecile 1200 responded to the how to make a pleated plaid tennis skirt tutorial, and she says, "What kind of fabric do you think is best for a skirt like this? I've heard that twill polyester is standard for pleats, but it's hard to get it to pleat at home without super high heat." Um, Good question. I personally and honestly do not have any experience with twill polyester as far as I know. Let me emphasize that part because for all you know, I could have worked with it and not even known that that was the name, but I doubt it because I think I have an idea as to what that is and what it looks like, and I don't think I've worked with it. But for this skirt, for me when I made it, I just used tartan fabric. So I went to fabric.com and I just ordered some tartan fabric. So you should do the same because it's basically just lightweight. Yeah, it's like a lightweight cotton fabric. And because it's lightweight, the pleats are a bit more forgiving. Like the iron and the heat and stuff to make the pleats is easier to do. So I hope that answers your question, Cecile. Let's see. It's 9:01 now, so I'm going to sign up. I'm going to try to wrap this up in like 3 minutes or so. Okay, Harissa says, in response to the Sweetheart Gathered puff sleeve Shein top, Harissa says, could you make Bella Hadid's icy naked dress from the Amfar Gala 2017? I'm not sure what that dress looks like, so I'll have to take a look at it to see if it's something that I think one, would actually be interested in making, and two, something that I feel that I would have like the proper knowledge to actually make. So I'll have to take a look at it. Let's see, what else do we have? Just trying to find the questions. Okay, thanks Alexa. Alexis, thank you so much for joining, and I hope to see you in the next live stream. Take care. All right, so let me just choose one more and then I will wrap up. Let's see. Ooh, I just saw a question, but I scrolled up. Let me go back. Oh no, it was an exclamation point. Never mind. And you guys, I'm so sorry that I don't respond to these. It's, as you can see, it's a lot of comments, and it's sometimes overwhelming because I don't like to give like half-ass responses. Yes. Okay. The final question I'm going to answer is from Sharon, and she posted a comment on 3 ways on how to hem stretchy fabric without it getting wavy or puckering without a serger. So her question is, does the twin needles have to be the stretch needle? So I'm not really sure what you mean. It kind of sounds like you're implying that there are twin needles that are not stretch needles, and there are twin needles that are stretch needles. And from my understanding, that isn't the case. From my understanding, and I could be wrong, just speaking transparently, but from what I understand, I think the twin needle is automatically for a stretch needle. Like they are only They are only and automatically stretch needles, I think. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah. All right. So that was the last question. I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you'll join me in the next live stream. And I'm hoping that in the next live stream, we can pick up and continue working on this garment here. Not this one here, but this one right here. But to be honest, if I must be transparent, not knowing me, I'll probably say it again anyway. But I'm having some doubts about if I still want to make this. I think the skirt I'll make, but maybe not the top, just because the fabric is so delicate. It's a very delicate, playful fabric that I'm a little worried that it's not going to give me this like bustier result that I want. I feel like I would need a sturdier fabric to get that desired result, unless I consider using some foam pads. So I don't know. We'll see. But just wanted to mention that. But yeah, in any case, again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you are safe and you're happy and you're well where you are. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Ciao.